In June, Washington, D.C. is playing host to World Pride, but it comes as the Trump administration continues to take aim at the LGBTQ plus community and diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Attacks from the president and his party have created an atmosphere for targeting books on the LGBTQ community. A PEN America report found that of the books that were banned last school year, half featured LGBTQ plus characters or people of color. Despite the national erasure of these stories, Chasten Buttigieg just released his new children's book, Papa's Coming Home, which features a family with two dads. Joining us now to discuss is Chasten Buttigieg, author of Papa's Coming Home and husband of former U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Chasten, thank you so much for coming on.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I mean, the book, cute, sweet, short, because it's a kid's book. The thing that you said when writing this is that you wanted to have your children have a story that about a family that looked like theirs, that there was no pain, there was no discomfort, they just were like existing. Talk a little bit about why that's important in this moment.
Yeah, I really wanted to just have a regular day in the life story with a family that looked like ours. Books are windows and mirrors, right? An opportunity to either see ourselves reflected in the book or an opportunity to learn something new about somebody else or peer into a different world. So for my kids, for my family, this is an opportunity just to see themselves in the book. And for every other family, it's an opportunity to see that, families take lots of different structures. But really, at the end of the day, this was a book about unconditional love. It's a dad coming home from the airport and thanking his kids for bringing all this stuff. But saying, the best part about coming home is you. It's not all the material things in the house. It's the love that we share in this house, and that's the best part about coming home.
Go ahead, Elise.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure he was going. I don't want to jump all over. Chasten, so you've said you're not ready to comment if your husband is going to run in 2028. But what do you think about the atmosphere surrounding a gay candidate entering the race and the possibility of a second gentleman? Do you think that, well, it's a gay second gentleman, granted, because we've already had Doug, but do you think that the environment has changed since the last run that he attempted and is more welcoming, or do you think that perhaps it's, just as hard as it always has been?
That was a big switch from Eugene's question, I'm just going to say.
We do a lot on the weekend. We do a lot on the weekend, honey.
Book and then, gotta just ask.
Look, I think one of the most important things that I would want to say to the country and especially to our community right now is I know it feels like the country is backsliding. And in some ways it is, right? We see in some of these states MAGA-aligned Republicans attacking the LGBTQ community. But the thing that I really want to speak about is how I believe that this country is full of good people. I'm on book tour right now. I travel the country a lot. I meet with teachers and librarians and parents and community members. And this country is full of good people. And I don't want us to think that folks in Washington or the loudest people on social media define who we are as a country. I see folks in Washington who are, I guess, technically members of Congress, but really what they are is influencers. And they're giving people, a license to be the worst types of themselves. So I hope as we head into Pride Month that folks in our community recognize that one, it takes all of us coming together to take care of each other, and two, it's a season of active allyship. And I want people to think about that word. And have they given themselves that title or have they earned it? That's what I'm focused on right now, is showing up for people, making sure that they know there are a lot of us out here fighting for them, and then calling people in positions of power to task. For when they make decisions that harm especially the most vulnerable people in our community, especially young people.
Chasten, when you and I sat down for my podcast at the Washington Post, what was that, 2019, 2020? You were your book was out then. Your first book was out then, and we talked about what you were hearing from LGBTQ folks as you traveled the country. And how that made you feel. Now here you're back on book tour again. I'm wondering if you have how much the dialogue has changed in those intervening years. Are people more scared, or are they maybe oddly more hopeful despite what's happening in the country?
I think people are a little frightened for sure, but the thing that I want to remind them of is that Twitter and Instagram does not define our country, that sometimes there are the worst types of people spending all day online, or remember that you might be arguing with a robot, designed to make you believe that our country is backsliding and our country is at its worst. I think people are right to maybe be concerned about some of this legislation that we see being introduced and passed that is targeting the LGBTQ community. But I also see the best of America when I'm on the road. I see teachers showing up for their kids, librarians who aren't throwing their hands up and walking out the door, although I think we can all understand why anyone in the field of education would want to say enough, but that's not who educators are. They fight for our kids, and they're some of the most inspiring people in our country. Folks who are just going to work every day, trying to show up for their families and do a good job. And I think the more we spend offline, the more time we spend offline in our community, taking care of people around us, the better we'll feel about the bigger work that awaits us, you know, when we're looking at things in Washington. I want to remind people that we have a lot of power. I mean, Elon Musk is sitting back in wherever he lives now, right, with a lot of buyer's remorse because people kept raising their voices and saying, enough, this isn't who we are as a country.
Chas, it sounds like you're ready to hit the campaign trail.
My God.
I was thinking the same thing. We may have a Congressman Chasta coming up here. I don't know.
No.
That sounds good.
No, I'm just a dad. I'm a dad who's, you know, a little ticked off at the state of the country, and I really, really care about my kids. As a former teacher, I think about what a lot of teachers are going through. I'm very grateful to have this platform to get to talk to people around the country, but I think, you know, it's going to take a lot more dads and teachers and community members speaking up in this type of moment.
Chasten Buttigieg, thank you so much for being with us.